All right, guys, welcome to week 4. Apologies, I'm a little bit behind with all these, but we're just kind of catching up with it now. So this week started with a jump session. This is the last week of the current block. This training camp is split up into 2 blocks. So this is the 4th week of that block. As you can see, started with the jump session. Now, from memory, this session felt pretty good. Kind of all my jump sessions lately have been touching around between 10, 11 to 11, just depending on kind of how everything felt that day. You can't really see the markers on this, unfortunately, with those trees in the background. Vertex wobbling a bit. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm just kind of walking through the approach a bit. So something I was focusing on, you can see, is turning my plant foot out a bit, so I could more roll over the ankle rather than my foot just slapping like kind of straight forward down. So it's really helpful doing these walkthroughs before then going into the approach, because you get a feel for it first, and then you don't have to think, and you just kind of go into it and let things happen naturally. Alright, so I've left this one in slow-mo so you can kind of see those relations of the kind of different positions I'm hitting. So as you can see, I rolled over that foot, which allowed my kind of speed and force to transfer over a lot nicer, rather than the foot just slapping down and kind of stopping that. And then that allows for the block foot to do what it's supposed to do and actually block and stop that momentum and then send you upwards. So I've still got a bit of work to do with that, but it's starting to look better. All right, now we're adding in more steps here. Bring in more of that speed. So there you can see touched up to 10-11 on that one. 10-10 on that one, sorry. So this would be an 10-11 attempt. Got it. And then this one here is 11 foot. Nice. And this is my best attempt at 10-1 that day. So I was kept narrowly missing it. Alright, so now we're doing a power clean max out. So this wasn't a test. Well, kind of is. You're just basically working up to a miss. So with this, I didn't necessarily work up to a miss because I've been kind of playing around with my technique a bit. I just wanted to work up to a kind of comfortable max. As you can see, it wasn't really dropping my hips quite enough on these ones. I just worked up to a pretty comfortable max, seeing as I'm going to be testing during that testing week anyway. So here I was just repping it out with a lighter weight, trying to slowly practice those positions. So it's important to learn slow. So even on the light weights, pull them really slowly, get used to those positions before you then speed it up. So the more you can rep that out and get comfortable moving slow, the more that those positions will occur naturally when you then move fast. Because moving fast, it's very easy to kind of get out of the right positions, because you're just trying to yeet the weight up. Cool. So I probably would want to dip my hips just that little bit more on these. All right, so we're at 30, 40, now I'm going 50 kilos. So I always take 10 kilo jumps all the way to either 80 or 90, and then I'll start doing 5 kilo jumps normally. I just have to fiddle around a lot when I'm setting up because where I'm doing it is a little bit slanted. The bar as rolls away. So one thing I've gotten a lot better at is setting my upper and my lower back. Yeah, definitely got to drop my hips more on that one. There's something I used to struggle with. That would kind of cause everything to become a little bit unstable. So this is important why it's good to record your sets. So I always look at it after, but there are some things you don't pick up at time. So that was 80 kilos. Definitely think I could be dropping my hips more. This is 90. Cool. Look pretty comfortable, and this is 95. Cool. So although it looked pretty easy, I could have definitely gone to 100, but I wasn't super happy with them. Like, I wasn't extending properly. I was jumping a little bit early, so I decided to just leave it there. All right, so now we're doing those heavy box squats. So this is 170. Now we got 180. Man, even just holding this kind of weight on my back, doing these sets throughout this cycle, has made going back to regular squats feel super easy, because even though I'm only doing a half squat here, just having that weight on my back, now when I go to like 100, 110, 20, 30 kilos on my back, it feels like nothing. This is now 190. So I was making it go kind of nice and controlled on the way down, pause for a second, and then exploding up. And then we got 200. So as you can see, nice and controlled. Pause for a second and up. Got the first one pretty easily. But then this second one just wouldn't happen. I think I shifted forward slightly and I felt my back start to give out a little bit, so I just left it. Cool, so the first jump session was Monday. Then that training was Tuesday. Had Wednesday off. Now we've got jump session again on Thursday. Much easier to see the pegs with this one. Nice blue sky behind. Okay, so slowly increasing the intensity with each jump. Generally, I'll do just my penultimate up to about 10, and then I'll start to add in another step. But I do kind of like to, you'll see I take a few steps before my penultimate. I'm just kind of walking the route that I'd be going when I kind of go to do my full approach. So here, so that one I just nicked of 10. Is it 10, 11 touch? Actually, that was 10, 11 and 11 touch all in the one. So that was my max for that day, 10, 11. 10, 11 and 11. So yeah, so my max for that day was 11 foot. And now here we're back to Friday, doing clean pulls. Yeah, definitely could sink my hips more. So what I had to get used to was the new position that my weightlifting shoes are putting me in, having my heels elevated. I'm having to now find that new starting position, which I'm realizing is sinking the hips that little bit more. So normally with my other shoes, I would go to there, and that would actually be having my hips a little bit lower. But yeah, now with these shoes, because my hips are in a higher starting position, I'm going to have to sink them a bit more. Yeah, you can see it kind of looks more like an RDL or something, really. Good. And then we're finishing off with the pin squats. So that was 130. If we go with 140. And that was my attempt at 150. As you can see, it just did not move. So I rested for a bit. I'm trying to hype myself up. Because I knew I could feel that I could get it. It was just about kind of hitting that groove. When you do these, if you get even the slightest bit out, like you're leaning too forward too much or too far back, your feet aren't in the right position, it could be really hard to get it up. So I just pushed it as hard as I could, and it eventually came up. All right, so that was the end of week 4. Again, had lots of other accessories.